What's up, everybody? It's JayViper here, and Concord is dead. I can't believe it happened this fast. I mean, we knew it was dead on arrival, but this fast? That is super surprising. They had to do something because nobody was playing. We're going to get into the video, but before we do that, please like the video, subscribe, and if you could, hit that notification bell. Let's get to it.
JayViper is awesome. He's so good looking. He's got the crowd in awe.
So there's definitely a little bit of grave dancing going on with this game, and honestly, it's time for our flowers, because how many times did we tell this dev team they're making a mistake, they're doing the wrong thing? They didn't listen. They actually just said it was all white noise. Sony didn't listen, and now the game is dead after it being live for barely a week. I think one of the greatest things to come out of this is my prediction of the dead game coming true. I posted this back on the 27th of freaking August. Yeah, check out that tracker. It's going straight to 0, and it's going to hit 0 on Friday when they shut the servers down. But this is the type of thing that I was talking about, right? People were trying to tell us, this is actually a good game. It's actually good. It's actually good. And I said, no, it's not. And it's so easy to prove, because release day was the highest point, and then less people on Saturday, less people on Sunday. And did you know that this game's peak was lower every single day, right up until the day they announced it was going to close, where it jumped up to 138 and immediately dove right back down in an hour because people jumped on to check it out again, and they said, nah, this game sucks, and they jumped off. This game blows, man, on every level. It's not just the characters. That's a big part of it. But the game's awful, man. It's awful. And it was doomed to fail. We said it. They didn't listen. And now it's $200 million of waste. We even had people try to gaslight us and tell us that, oh, it's doing so much better on the store. It's doing so much better on the PlayStation Store. Number 42 in the PlayStation Store is awful. That's nothing. That's not moving it at all. Oh, but it's okay because Helldivers 2 is number 33. This isn't an all-time list, okay? This was at the time. These are horrible, horrible, horrible numbers, and you're trying to push and gaslight people to buy a game that's dead, and you want them to waste money. Luckily, Sony's going to refund people, and people won't have wasted their money. So that's at least good on Sony, but they didn't have much of an option. And I talked about this on X as well, where I said they were going to try to gaslight us on sales. This woolly gamer guy was trying to tell us how it was like 6th on the store, which was just garbage because it was on the hot list. Guess what was missing from the hot list at the time? Wukong wasn't even there. These people were all over us trying to gaslight us and telling us how great the game was because it was on the hot list. Sony controls the hot list, my friends. It controls it. I was telling you, it controls the list. It's not real numbers. Wukong's not there, and it was hot as it could be. It was definitely the number one seller. These people, you couldn't convince them, and now it's hitting them in the face that the game's a failure. But the fact that game's a failure doesn't really come to a surprise to any of us. We knew it was. The question is where does Concord go now? And I think that's actually an interesting question. There's a lot of debate here. Will they just scrap it and just say, we've lost the money, this isn't worth any more investing? Or are they going to try to invest back into it and try to make something out of it? Personally, I think their plans were that this was going to be a big IP for them, and I think Sony's going to take another kick at that can. And let me tell you how they're going to do it. First things first is that you have to get rid of every single lead on the team. The lead developer absolutely has to go. Anyone who is in charge of designing those characters has to go. People who push for those characters and the social norms that they try to push through the character design, they have to go. You have to expunge the company. And if I was Sony, I would 100% think really hard about changing the name of Firewalk Studios. And 100%, this game cannot be called Concord anymore. It has to be changed. It's got a horrible reputation. People aren't going to come back to play Concord. You have a chance if you change this game's name. Then you have to go through all the characters, and you basically have to redesign them all. And you have to start breaking it up. And if this is going to have any success, it has to be a free-to-play game. It's not going to have any success being 40, 30, whatever dollars. You can't charge money for it. It has to go free-to-play. And for that, they have a 16-player roster. They're going to have to cut that roster in half. And then you release 8. and then have 8 more and start breaking them in. Because they've already refunded everyone, they can absolutely pull back characters and start breaking them up into other releases. For a free-to-play game, it makes sense to have limited characters at the beginning and you start adding them on as long as they work well together what you have released. And it's a lot like what Apex has done. They were releasing 1 new character every season. They could do 1 or 2 with this game. But yeah, new names, some new abilities, and definitely complete character redesign. Get rid of the pronouns. People don't appreciate that stuff. You don't need a trash can with a pronoun running around in a game. Another thing they need to do is they need to have a team go back through it and make the game look better, because the game doesn't really look very good. The animations aren't very good. The effects are really bad. The fire effects are some of the worst I've seen. This is supposed to be AAA. It doesn't look anything like it. But yeah, I keep coming back to it. But a big thing they have to touch up is on this roster. This roster is unattractive, ugly, boring characters. The skins are plain. I mean, look at some of the skins that they've released. They are really awful. I mean, tell me what's exciting about this character, or this character, or this they-them character. These are not interesting characters. None of them are. Every single one of these characters just looks like a knockoff of something else. There's no originality here, and it showed up in the game in spades throughout the entire game. The gameplay wasn't special, the characters weren't special, the maps weren't special, the story wasn't special. There was nothing special about this $200 million game. So if Sony is going to recoup anything, they have to just dive back in, take control of it, blow out a bunch of the developers, and just try again. Because without a hard look at what they did wrong in this game, they're not going to be able to recoup anything. It cannot release as Concord again. There's no chance it will do anything for them if they do. So yeah, I'm glad the game failed. It needed to fail in order to change gaming the way it is right now, which is just a toxic mess. Things like this have to fail for games to start being good again. We've seen when they ignore the absolute garbage out there, we have great games like Wukong, like Palworld, things people really enjoy. So you let me know what you think is going to happen to Concord. Is it going in the heap? Are they going to release it as is? Are they going to revamp it? What do you think is going to happen? I'm super interested to know what everyone thinks. And once again, don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Love you, mean, and peace. Bye, everybody.